What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Raptors Report. We are less than 24 hours away from the Raptors' first Summer League game. And as you guys know, it is a stacked roster for the Raptors Summer League. So we're going to be taking a look at three players that you should be paying attention to during these summer games. So if you are ready to watch, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to Phil Gaps. Phil, thank you so much for supporting this channel. Through your likes and comments, it's always appreciated. Now let's talk about player number one on our list here. And if you've seen my last video, you should not be surprised who this player is, because there's so much to this player's game, both on the offensive and the defensive side. And this is no other than Chucky Hepburn. So what exactly should you be looking for in the Summer League for Chucky Hepburn? You should be looking at a guard who can change the tempo of the game. You should be looking at someone who is able to control the pace of the game. Something I anticipate Chucky to do during the Summer League games is to not only help get his teammates easy baskets, he's also able to give you points in a hurry. And most importantly, the one aspect I really do admire about Chucky's game is how he's able to change the pace of how he plays. You'll see when you watch his tape, you see it when you'll see him in Summer League, is his ability to really just bring the ball up, and all of a sudden he's running, flying past everyone and attacking the basket. But if they are defenders, he is smart enough to know that he knows his limitations, and he will find his teammates for open looks, or he just makes these incredible passes that you do not anticipate. And then all of a sudden you see, someone getting an easy basket either at the rim or having one of his teammates get an open three-point shot. So that is something that I'm very excited about Chucky's game, because again, I talked about this in my last video, but he's essentially, his ability on the offensive side is, we know he's quick. We know he can get you buckets in a hurry, but there's so many different things he's able to do. He's able to change his pace. Very similar. Very similar. I don't want to say Jalen Brunson. I did use SGA as an example last game, but looking back at it and watching more of his highlights, I firmly believe that his game is very much like Jalen Brunson, where he's coming up, he's a little bit slow, and all of a sudden you just see him sprinting with the ball, and he's getting past defenders very, very easily as well. And one thing I do look forward to is his game on a big man game with Ulrich Hamche is, how he's able to facilitate in a pick and roll game. I think that's a key part of his game that he's very, very intelligent at. He can get big men open looks, and especially alley hoops as well. But most importantly, when he has the ball, you'll notice that if you look beyond statistics, if you look beyond shooting and defense and all of those things, you'll notice that when he has the ball, he is always surveying the court to see where he can get himself in good positions to not only get an open shot, but also get an easy basket as well. He's very good at kind of rotating around other guys to kind of maybe 10, 15 feet outside of the rim, outside of the paint, and then he gets an open look because he knows how to get to his spots, and he's really talented at that. And most importantly, he is someone that on the defensive side is going to get you a lot of steals. He's good at anticipating passes as well. So do watch Chucky not only for his offensive side, but his defensive impact as well. He's going to be someone that's going to come in when he reaches that point with the Toronto Raptors, obviously during regular season. If he gets consistent 10 minutes or so, not talking this season, maybe later in the season, perhaps in the future, he's someone who may only play 10 minutes, but you'll see his impact felt right away. And of course, with Summer League, here's to hoping he gets a lot of minutes, touches to kind of showcase what he's capable of doing. So that is Chucky Hepburn. Let's move on to player number two here. Now, player number two may actually surprise you a lot, because I feel like no one is really discussing this player. I've watched William Lou's podcast today, and I even commented, they talked about a bunch of different players. And of course, you got Ulrich Hamche. They talked about, the guys returning from last season, the sophomore players. But the one player they did not really cover, and I really wish they had, again, no shot at them. They're a great podcast. I love listening to them. But Aniwaniwa Tate Jones, as you know, again, if you watch my last video, you know how much I like what he does in his impact on the game. Aniwaniwa Tate Jones. Why should you be excited to watch him? Don't look at the box scores, guys. Actually watch the game, and you'll see his impact on the offensive side particularly. He's not the best of defenders. He is smart with his rotations, so that I will give him that. But in terms of his offensive games, he is able to do a ton besides just scoring. He is someone that goes in there, despite him not having a huge frame. Like, he's not, when you look at certain guys, you look at, Colin Murray-Boyles, for example, you look at Scotty Barnes as an example, you see them really bruising in there, going in the paint and really using their physicality against some of these bigger players and getting baskets. The surprising part about Aniwaniwa Tate Jones is he isn't built like that, but despite the fact that, his frame isn't the biggest or he's not the strongest. He'll still go in the paint against some of the bigger guys, and he's able to really pump fake them in the air and does a great job of getting through the free throw line. Now, his style of play may not be the most exciting, and I've even heard people say his style of play is very old school of what you would have seen in early 2000s basketball, but he is someone that will impact, again, not just scoring, not just rebounding, but watch how he boxes out players, watch how he's able to set picks, and more importantly, how he rolls and where he positions himself after setting those picks. There's a lot of good qualities about him. I do anticipate he'll have a few games where he doesn't see a ton of minutes. Obviously, there are other players that the Raptors, I'm sure, will play ahead of him. And the Raptors did just announce today that they have signed David Roddy as well, again, a former Grizzlies player who they anticipate will play in the summer league as well. He's signed to an Exhibit 10 contract. But anyone you want, Tate Jones just makes smart reads, smart passes. He gets a lot of rebounds. Again, he's only about 6'6", so he's not like he's 6'8". But despite the fact he does so many little things that go unnoticed in the box score, but when you actually watch the game, there are a lot of exciting things about him. And again, I want to use TJ McConnell as an example, even though their games aren't similar. These are the kind of players that are, 7th, 8th, 9th men off the bench, and again, their impact is felt right away because of how much and how hard they play basketball. So I do anticipate him getting some minutes. I do hope he gets a chance to really showcase what he's capable of in terms of scoring, in terms of rebounding, in terms of his passes as well. He's an underrated passer, excuse me, and also he does the little things that do not show up in the box score, just plays exceptionally hard. And that is a player I look forward to in the summer league. And let's move on to our final player here before we end the video. Now, this is no other than the player that surprised a lot of people when the Raptors decided to draft him at the 9th position. This is Colin Murray Boyles. There's a lot of good things about him on the defensive side. He does a good job of moving his feet. He does a great job with his hands of getting his steal, and just he honestly does a great job of just staying with his man, and even in different positions. Like, he's capable of guarding so many different positions. But the reason I want you guys to watch him, and the big reason I personally will want to watch him, this is going to come across as very hateful, but it isn't. I was watching a lot of tape of Colin Murray Boyles last night and even this morning, and I got a lot of questions about his offensive game. It does concern me quite a bit, guys. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat this any way, shape, or form. There are a lot of things I do worry about him at the NBA level. Again, this is just a summer league, but I want to see how he takes baby steps before we see him play in the NBA as well. So in terms of his offensive game, that is what I want to wait to see what he is capable of. Again, I do not wish to react to summer league games and say, he's a great player if he scores 20 points or if he goes 2 of 9, 3 of 9. I don't want to say, the Raptors made a mistake. You need to be patient and not overreact to summer league games. But I'm very, very curious as to how he performs on the offensive side, because we've seen in college, Colin Murray Boyles does a great job of using his physicality despite having a frame of, he's 6'6", 6'7", 245 pounds. So he's not the tallest of players, but he does a good job of really using his size. Usually, in terms of size, I mean weight, and he uses that physicality quite a bit. And I've heard people even compare him to Julius Randle. And that is what I'm anticipating to see, how he kind of works around in the paint. And before, again, we see him with the big club, and before we see him with the starters and the bench players as well. I'm really excited to see how he performs tomorrow again, especially if the Raptors decide to play Ulrich Champche, because Ulrich is going to be occupying a lot of the space in the paint, and I'm curious to see how he does. Now, I did watch his tape, and I do want to say, in fact, in college, there wasn't a lot of space for him to work because the other big man he played with, or the other power forward he played with, at times would just camp out near him as well. So he didn't have a lot of space to operate. He did have a, obviously exceptional season as well, but I do worry about him because the things that you are able to do at the college level, it's going to be completely different at the NBA level. Now you're playing against grown men who have been in the NBA for 5, 10, 12 years. You're going against guys that are much bigger, that are much smarter. Because Colin Murray Boyles, one thing he does very well on the offensive side, again, he understands his limitations, but he works with his foot. He has great footwork. That is how he's able to kind of maneuver his foot, pump fake, and kind of work around the basket when he does stop his dribble. And that's how some of the points he gets. He generates his points a good amount that way as well. But again, the IQ between college players and NBA players is completely different. And look, again, this is going to sound like I'm completely hating on Colin Murray Boyles. I genuinely wish the young man some success in the summer league before we see him in the NBA. And I would gladly say you guys, I'd gladly be proven wrong by Colin Murray Boyles. I would never want him to struggle just so I can say I was right. But I do have major, major concerns, in terms of his offensive game, just given the Raptors roster overall, too. Again, I know we're talking about Summer League, but when you talk about the Raptors roster, you got Scotty, Jakob, none of them space the floor that well. Obviously, Scotty had one good season shooting the three, and you're going to really just it's going to be tough to make those three work. And obviously, Colin Murray Boyles in an ideal situation. You do want him starting in the near future as well. So, again, those are the three players I'm looking forward to in the Summer League. I know, guys, there's so many more attractive names I could have thrown out there, like Jacoby Walter, Ulrich Chomche, and even, Mogbo and Jamal Shed as well. But these are the three guys I personally will be looking forward to in the Summer League. Let me know your thoughts below. Are you excited of any of these players, obviously, besides Colin Murray Boyles? What do you look forward to? Who are three players you look forward to in the Summer League for the Toronto Raptors? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And there is no trivia question for today. And the reason is I wanted to give a chance to anyone that wants to shout out. I know you guys aren't always able to watch my videos right away, and it's not always fair if you want to say that, for, people that aren't able to answer the trivia questions right away. So this is your chance. If you want to shout out, let me know in the comments section below. And that will be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go Raptors. I hope they have a great summer league because their squad is absolutely stacked, and we'll see some great performances from all of the other guys as well. So that will be it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.